Hi there guys, welcome to Sound Effects Premiere in Ormskirk. My name's Tom Quayle and I'm back with another demo, this time of the brand new Andy Timmons Carl Martin Compressor limiter pedal. Now the story goes with this pedal that Andy Timmons had been using the Carl Martin Compressor limiter pedal for quite a long time on his board, but he actually had two on the board. One was for kind of subtle rhythm tones, so just a subtle compression, and the other was a harder compression for lead tones where there was more gain involved. And because he had two on the board, Carl Martin approached him and they came to a deal where they would have two of those units in one pedal. So he could have basically a dual compressor and limiter pedal that he could switch between two presets. But apart from that, all of the settings were exactly the same. So it's basically the same pedal, but just with two or double the functionality, two presets. So the pedal itself, I've got it down here on the floor, as you can see. It's a pretty simple pedal to use. It's got your standard in and out and a 9-volt center negative DC input. Now that actually is boosted up to 12 volts internally via the pedal, so it runs very similar to the old unit that used to have an AC input that you'd have to plug into the mains, so you get tons of headroom and real studio quality audio. Back down to the pedal again, we've got our two sides of the pedal here, so you can see we've got a compression and level and compression and level for the two sides. We can switch between the two presets using the select button. We've got a global threshold and response. So this is the response time, otherwise known as the attack, and then the threshold, so basically the level of the signal before the compressor will actually come into action. A global bypass switch, okay, so LED on means on. And then we've got the busy LED, which basically tells you when the compression is actually occurring. So very simple to set up. So what we're going to do is basically, I'm going to show you my clean tone first. I'm using this beautiful John Page Ashburn classic guitar that's available at Sound Effects Premiere. Really, really nice guitar. I'm running through a Jazz Chorus JC90 that's mic'd up with an SM57. And my basic clean tone, so with the pedal disengaged, sounds like this. Pretty single coil kind of tone, and that's the kind of tone that Andy Timmons would use for a clean sound if he was using the single coil on his signature Ibanez guitars. So if I now do the bypass, I've got the compression set fairly high, the level is set almost to sort of unity, it's just boosting a little bit because we're ducking the level slightly. The threshold is about halfway up and the response is all the way up, and we get this tone. So it's squashing in a really pleasing, natural way. It makes playing so much easier. Still got a ton of dynamic control. You can hear when I'm pulling on those, the plucked notes, they sound really, really snappy. Now check out the extra sustain we're getting here. If I bypass the pedal, here's without the pedal in. Still sounds good, but it's lost a little bit of life. If we bring the pedal back in again, check this out. Much more solid sustain, and we're keeping that low end much more, which is really, really nice. Probably there's a little bit of delay on there as well, and that's from an Eventide H9 pedal. Okay, so let's play with the controls. You can see that this compressor is set up completely differently to the other one. We've got much less compression. The level's set up the same. So now let's do this and switch between the two and have a listen to the difference. Okay, so that one's pumping a little bit more. I should have said the other one is pumping a little bit more. This one's a little bit more natural because there's less compression going on. And we're getting a boost to the level. So this works great as a transparent boost as well. Let's switch back again and check out the difference. So you can hear there we're really getting the snap of the tone. Now, if we bring the compression all the way down and have a listen to how this functions as a boost. Okay, so here's just the general clean tone. bypass the pedal. There you can hear how transparent the pedal is. It's really not affecting the tone at all. Okay, let's play with the threshold control. So we'll bring the compression up. Let's bring the threshold back all the way. Now when the threshold is back all the way, you can hear what it's done there. It's ducking out all the signal basically, so we really need to boost the level. So we've gone from this, bypassed, to this now with the threshold all the way up. So if we now boost the level, and you can hear that it's really lowering the signal, and then we're boosting it up again afterwards, so our dynamic range is really flat here, but it still sounds very good sound quality. It doesn't sound artificial, it still sounds musical. So let's bring the threshold up and we'll play with the response. So we'll bring the response down. Make sure we've got a decent amount of compression here. And as the response is lowered, we're losing some of the pick attack basically. So the compressor is sort of ducking in much more quickly. Then we'll increase the response about halfway. And then all the way, bring the threshold down, drop the level. So what you can hear that we're getting here is throughout the pedal's entire range we're getting very musical results. It's never kind of too much or over the top. This is a very high quality compression here, what you'd call a studio quality compression. And really what it's doing is it's making the guitar easier to play. And it's the feel that's really being affected. I mean, the tone is being squashed as well, but we're retaining the core part of our tone here. It's not affecting the tone of the guitar or the amplifier. And that's what you want out of a compressor. The other very impressive thing is it's not adding in a huge amount of noise either. And that's due to the headroom that we've got on the pedal because it's operating internally at 12 volts. So very impressive. Works great with drive pedals as well. In front of or after a drive pedal, and having those two presets on there and being able to switch between them so quickly is a really nice feature. So that's the Andy Timmons signature version of Carl Martin's compressor limiter pedal. You can check it out at Sound Effects Premiere in Ormskirk. My name's Tom Quayle and I will see you next time.